And again, just as a reminder, so we are recording. If by any chance you have, well, not by any chance, you might will, but if you have any questions as we go throughout this session, just do me a favor and pop them into the chat. I promise I will try to get to them as quickly as possible. Like I said, I don't have a moderator in my session right now, so I'm going to be toggling back and forth between sharing my screen and getting to most of your questions. So, hi everyone. I am Jackie Patanio. I am from the Staten Island Borough office. I work on the teaching and learning team as an instructional lead for EdTech. And one of the things that I have been sharing is how you could use Screencastify with Google Classroom and sort of in other aspects of your work. So without any further ado, I'm just going to share my screen with you. I believe that I dropped the agenda inside of the chat, and this is also the agenda link. So feel free to follow along with us in what we're going to be working on. Okay. So for those of you who maybe do not know what Screencastify is an extension that lives on your Chrome browser. So if you check on up here, you'll see that I have the extension already set on my Chrome. So let me just head on over here, and I think somebody no, we're good. Okay. So this is where the extension will live. So the idea is that screencasting is a way for us to be able to get a message out to our students, our families, our staff without actually being with them. So this really lends itself to the remote learning and the virtual learning that we're going through right now. This is something that I've used often. I know my teammates have used often, and I know a lot of schools in Staten Island have been using in terms of creating tutorials and trying to engage families, let's say students with their homework, and creating a repository of videos for people to have. So on your agenda, you'll see that there's accessing Screencastify, the Chrome extension link. You can access that at any time. You can do it simultaneously with me. That's totally up to you, but just know that the link is on the agenda to access Screencastify. So you can install it for yourself. So what you would do is you would head on over to this right here, and it would simply walk you through the steps on how to get this onto your device. Mine's already installed, so I don't see this as a blue option. Yours would be blue, and you would go through the steps to just kind of say, yes, I want to allow it to connect with my Google account, which I always think is the best option. And you go through sort of those key pieces for Google allowance, and then setting up your camera and those type of permissions. Okay, they have a lot of good resources, which I have at the bottom of the agenda as well. They go into different things that you can use it for. So down here, the classroom resources and how you can utilize it for yourself or with families. The other thing with Screencastify is that normally it is a 5-minute cap. So you would normally have 5 minutes worth of recording in each session, but through the COVID sort of situation, they have upped it to an hour. I don't know, I'm assuming most of you might have this, but I'm going to just drop this information right here into the agenda as well. This is the code that you can use to extend into having more than just the 5 minutes. So I'm just going to post that at the bottom of the agenda where the resources are. And I'm going to say, I think that they're probably going to extend it from April 15th, because it was free unlimited access till the 15th, but it seems like the world will be needing this for a lot longer than April 15th. So that is at the bottom of the agenda. Okay, so since I already have mine set up, I'm just going to go through what it actually looks like to utilize this. So I'm going to start here. Okay, so I have this presentation up, and what I want to do is I actually want to record myself. So this is going to look interesting because I'm sharing my screen with you, and then I'm going to be sharing another screen on top of that. So it's going to look a little bit strange probably from this purview. But for my students, let's say I want to give them a walkthrough on what exactly this slides presentation is and how do we add different slides to this document that we're working on together. What I do is I click on my Screencastify extension right here, which again, very convenient because this lives on any browser. So one thing I need to do, so let me log out of this account because I am logged into a different account. That's what happens when you demo a whole bunch of different things. Okay. Sign in. This is actually the process that you'll wind up seeing when you're signing up. You're giving it access. Okay. All right. We're in. All is right with the world. So I come on up here to my Screencastify icon, right? And I click on it. And it's going to come up with all these different things that I can do. So it has it set to browser tab, desktop, and webcam only. So I'm going to go through just desktop and webcam. Browser would mean that it would just be this browser that I have open right now. I tend to need more range, so I like to use the desktop version, the desktop option, which allows me to kind of go in and out of tabs and through anywhere on my computer. Okay. I have the microphone toggled on, and I know that it's working because I can see the volume going up and down over here. It's set to the default that is installed into my computer, unless I had something plugged in, and then it could also pick that one up. And then I have my embedded webcam. So for those of you who want your students to see you while you're doing this tutorial, you can leave this toggled on, or you can toggle it off. It's entirely up to you. You know, sometimes it's nice for people to get to see you. So what I'll do is I will just leave mine on for right now. So I'm going to come over here and back over. I'm going to leave it on, and I'm going to just start recording. So I'm going to do record over this slide presentation that we're on. You'll see it asks me which do I want to present. I will click share. And this right here is my video screen. Okay. I know that I'm recording because it gives me the countdown. It'll be a lot quicker when you're doing it. It's just I have a bunch of things running in the background. And I know that I'm recording because over here it says Screencastify Video is now sharing your screen. So I'm going to try to move this again. I'm going to get booted. Okay. Over here at the bottom left, while you're recording, you're going to have different things that you can do on your screen. So what I can do is I can click on this, which is my highlighting tool. So I can kind of draw their attention to, I want you guys to click on File, and I want you to, let's say, share, or I want you to check out the version history. But this is just a way to kind of grab the attention of somebody who is watching your presentation. You can also draw. So you have the pen option. If I, again, wanted to say, you know, make sure your clip art is in the right spot, you can do these type of drawings on here. It's not so easy when you're using a trackpad. It's a little bit easier with the mouse. But it is ideally the easiest when you have a touch screen because you're able to manipulate with your finger. Okay. Again, you just kind of will go through some of these pieces over here to, you know, enhance the work that you're doing on your screen. If I need to pause to kind of take a moment to open something else up and then continue my video, what I would do is I would just click the pause button, do what I need to get up. Maybe the computer wasn't loading properly, get myself situated, and then I would head back over here and I would click the play button again. So that just helps me pick up where I was. And if you'll see, it says resume recording. And I can just kind of pick up where I left off, and I can continue going about my presentation. Okay. If I want to stop, just click pause and just click stop over here. And my presentation is now over. So what you're going to see is automatically, as soon as I was done with that recording, it pops open in a new window. So now I have the ability to go through and sort of manipulate this video and set it to my liking and kind of you know, share it out where it needs to go. So similar to using Drive or Docs, we come on up here to where it says Untitled, and all we have to do is tap on it to change the name of the untitled video. Really important to do this because what will happen is you'll start creating tutorials, you'll notice, and just maybe copying the link or just kind of ignoring this piece. And you'll just have a whole bunch of videos called untitled video, and then there'll be a date and a time. And it's hard to remember exactly what you've done. And I know personally that I have had to go back in and sort of start renaming things. So it is important to keep your naming conventions intact. So you'll see on the screen right now, everything I just did before is happening in real time on my video. So I might call this Screencastify tutorial. And today is the 8th, so maybe I'll just do 4/8/2020. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. So now I'm happy. We're good with this. You can edit. So you can make edits to this. If I click on Open Editor, I'm not going to do it right this second. But you can trim. You could add in little features. It's nothing over the top, not like using iMovie, but again, it's definitely good for a free or freemium type program. If I am not happy with this recording at all, which happens more often than not, once you start hearing yourself speak, you can just come right over here and just delete it entirely, and it goes away. All right. So now we're going to come on over to the sharing area. So I can copy a direct link to this right now. So in a lot of the work that I do and have been doing, and I'm sure many of you have been doing, you're trying to support other people sort of on the spot, or you're trying to support a large amount of people at one time. So some of the best ways to do that is to do it by demoing yourself and creating a screencast, grabbing the link, and then sharing it out with them. So what I will usually do is I'll grab a link, and I will paste it into an email. Let's say it's going out to assistant principals. And I will just say, if this is how you navigate Teams, or this is how you navigate your classroom settings. And I'll just share it out that way, so I get more bang for my buck, and I'm able to just point them in the direction of one link to view how to do things. The other things that we can do, and this is where Classroom comes in, we could share these tutorials with our students. So depending on what topic or content that you teach, you could be doing these videos and just pushing them out to Classroom as they're created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Share to Classroom. Okay. And it's synced up to the right account, which is good. And it's going to ask me which class it's going into. So I'm going to stick with my online learning class because this is my demo account. And I'm going to choose what I want to do with it. So again, similar to being in Classroom in general, what do I want to happen with this assignment? Do I want it to just be an announcement? Do I want to ask a question? Do I want this to be just material for my students? Or am I going to create an assignment where they're going to have to watch this video and then actually do something to submit for me? So we will create an assignment, and we will click Go. Again, it's going to all stay within this window, but you're going to notice that it's going to be your Google Classroom in a condensed version. So again, we have the class that we put this into. I could also, again, add this video to multiple classrooms if I needed, if I service more than one. And then over here, I can decide who this video is going to. So if this is maybe remediation, if this is a scaffold video for students who need some supports, maybe this is an enrichment video, I can then decide who this video is going to. Okay? And it tells me this title of the video that I'm putting in, instructions for my students, what they can do with it, and so on and so forth. Everything that you would normally do when you were in Classroom. Okay. And then once you're happy with this, you would just click Assign, and it goes through. I could also click on View and have that open up in one of my tabs, which I will do. And here it is. Okay, pop on my screen. And this is the assignment that I pushed out for my students, Screencastify tutorial. All right. Some of the other things to note on here, publishing to YouTube. So if you're deciding right now that you are going to house your videos on YouTube, that's something that I'm doing presently because I think it's just an easier way to capture my stuff. I could push these videos right out onto YouTube. So it defaults to private, but it does have the channel that it's going to because this is my YouTube channel. I could change it to public or unlisted, put my description in, and then click upload. What's happening right now is that this video is going to wind up on my YouTube dashboard, and then I can do what I need with it. So I'm trying to get organized and put everything into various types of playlists. So if I did a tutorial on how to navigate Teams, or maybe how to access Nearpod, I would upload it, publish it to YouTube, and then go onto YouTube later on and kind of manipulate my playlists and how things are set for my viewers. Okay. And again, this is taking a little bit longer because I have a whole bunch of things running in the background, and I'm also down in my basement, not not close to my router. So while this is happening, okay, here it is. It's on YouTube. I can copy a link to it, or I can go right to YouTube, which I'm not going to do right this second. I could also generate the QR code. So using a QR code usually is beneficial when it's in your classroom and you could print it out, put it up on the wall. Students can access it. Apologies for muting. I had to yell to my 6-year-old son. So for many of you who are working from home, you also know that we're all playing mommy and teacher, daddy and teacher, whoever at the same time. So back to the QR code. Hold on one second. Okay, so the QR codes, something you can do with them for digital work. I would say, let's say again with this video as an example, this tutorial, I would copy this link. I would probably throw it into a doc. You could throw it into a document, and it could be part of, let's say, I don't want to say a worksheet, but I will say worksheet, a virtual worksheet on, let's say, doing fractions or how to like do story starters, anything like that. But this here, this QR code can be put into those presentations or those documents to help guide students along the way in whatever task they're doing. So these can be posted in Classroom as resources, but they could also be posted right onto an assignment, a document, something that they're going to be working on, so that they can access the video right from there. All they would do, pull up their phone, pull up their tablet, and just watch it on a side. So they pull up their camera and watch from the QR code. Okay. And then lastly, from here, you can also download it. So if you wanted this to be exported, you could export it right over here. What's fun is that you can also export it as an animated GIF. This is something that I had started to tinker with, but this is good if you're going to start putting things into a presentation. You can turn this into a GIF where it goes back and forth if you're trying to highlight one particular piece of the video. So the next component, oops, countdown, it'll be a lot quicker. Okay, so now I'm going to get out of here. And I just want to show you that there are a couple different places that you can access your videos. So once they're done, now what? Where are they living? So the first place I can go is I can click on my icon again, and I can head on over to my pancake stack over here on the left, and I could click my recordings. Okay. And what this pulls up are all the recordings that you've done over time. So again, like I mentioned to you before, you definitely want to make sure that you have them titled, because otherwise they wind up looking like this: untitled March 29th, untitled April 6th. So it's very important to make sure that you have them with names that can kind of pull your eye to it, and they come up here in date order. So the last one that you've done will appear up here in the top left, and then you can scroll through and you can make modifications to these. So I can go as far back. I will go to one, let's say from December. I can open this up, and maybe this is another one that I need to share out now. I could do exactly what I just did before. I could share the link, publish it to Classroom, exact same thing that I just did with my newest one. And I'm actually going to change this right here, and I'm going to call it PS32 Google Keep, because I know that's what it is. Okay. Yes, so your recordings will actually live inside of the Chrome extension over here. Right? They also will live on your, come on over here to my drive. Let me close this out, and I'm going to come over here to my drive. Okay. I have a lot of stuff in my drive. try to keep this nice and streamlined. So I have my folders set up in alphabetical order. I'm going to scroll down to Screencastify. So what happens when you create your account for the first time? You sign in, you allow Screencastify to have access to your account. What happens in the back end over in your drive is that there is a folder automatically created for you. So see right here. This folder was not created by me. This was created by Screencastify on my behalf. So now every single recording I have done lives inside of this folder. So I'm going to open it up. And similar to just what we just looked at, these are all of my recordings. Okay. So they live in here and they live in the Screencastify extension. So I have it in two different places. So with this, I can click on this right here, right? And I could share this the same way I would share anything that is in my drive. I can come on up, click on the plus button, and I could add a collaborator on it, right? Same way we would normally do it, or I can grab the link right here and share this out with students or with anybody who is looking to watch my videos. So those are all in here. So you're able to really easily, let's say, grab this video. So I'm going to actually grab the link. I can grab the link this way and start pulling these into, let's say, my Google Classroom for my students to use by going into Create. Let's say I'm going to create material. I'll call this using a ruler tools, because that was ruler online. And then I could either go into my drive and look for the link that I was just looking for, the video, or I can just pop in the link that I copied, which is sometimes easier than navigating through the mess of Drive. So that's how I can kind of go back and pull a link and add it into Classroom. As you saw before, I'm also able to push out directly into Classroom from Screencastify. They all wind up going into the same, it all winds up becoming the same in the end. Okay. You can also have students create an account, create an assignment, and then have students post videos to you on Classroom. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually switch into a different account because I want you to see. Actually, do I have Alice Apple in here? If I have Alice Apple in this class, then we should be good. I can show you from here. No, I don't. Okay. I'm going to sign into a different account, and I want to show you what it looks like from the student perspective. So just bear with me one moment. I'm going to sign into a different Gmail account. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to create an assignment in here. Okay, I'm going to create an assignment that is called Screencastify. Okay. Please share your videos in this assignment. The video should be 2 to 3 minutes long at most. Okay, so I'm going to push out this assignment to all of my students. It's going out to all of my students. Okay. Now, I'm also going to sign out of my account here. I'm going to sign out of my my teacher account. I'm going to log into my student account so I could show you what it looks like for me as a student now. Okay, so now I'm logged in as a student in this class. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, as a student, I'm going to record for my teacher. Okay, I want them to either maybe see like what my fluency is in the book that I'm reading, because that's a good idea for possibly your kindergartners, your first graders. So I'm gonna click on webcam only, and I'm going to record myself. So webcam only will just give the actual just the whole screen of you. So there's not showing the web browser that you're on, but it's just you being recorded. So I might be reading my book, and I want to share this with my teacher because I want to show them how good I've been getting while I'm home practicing. And then I click stop. So again, same as before, this pops up. Let me pause myself. This pops up. This is the video that I want to share with my teacher, okay? So I have to wait till the file saves. Give it a second. Almost there. Okay. All right. So again, this is me as a student. I click share to classroom. It's gonna trying to put me back into this one, but I have to go into my student account. Okay. So I chose my student account, and I have to go into the class that my teacher has me in. Okay. And I'm going to pick my upcoming assignment. Okay, of course this isn't working. Please select. Okay, that's my mistake. I didn't put in the upcoming assignment. That's my fault. But what would happen is the student right here, they pick the class, and then the attachment will be right here. So the class, so whatever the assignment is, which I didn't give it, I didn't put in the due date, will pop up for the student, and they're able to attach their video to Classroom for you to see. So what essentially it winds up looking like is, I'll show you right here, what a Screencastify attachment looks like. So right here, these are all of my other students from my graduate class who pulled in their videos. So this was the attachment that this is the assignment I created. I pushed it out to them. They went on to Screencastify, they selected the topic, and they attached it to there. Okay. So that is really it for Screencastify.
Can I get a game?
Hold on one second.
Can I get another game?
So that's really it for Screencastify in terms of, you know, what we would use it for. And there's like a million different options in creatively, like how you could think about how you would use it. But just to know that it is an option for us to be using right now, even if it's maybe somebody, you know, helping us with language support, anything. Said helping our families out there and really getting this information out to a wider range of people. So I'm going to stop. Going to see if anybody has any questions. We'll look over here. Okay. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. Okay. Let's see. Rows you shouldn't see. Yes. Oh, paid subscription. Yes, you can do the editing with the paid. Like I said, right now it's free for all of us. We have the unlimited, so we are able to edit. Yes, you have to have a YouTube channel created in order to have this go over. How do you do a read aloud and project the book? So projecting a book, you would either have to hold it in front of you, or you would have to, like you said, show your screen without, you would have to kind of have your screen up and do a screen share. Like you would have it maybe on YouTube or Audible, or however it is that your book, the book is being used online. You would have to have that sitting on your screen, and then you would start Screencastify and just read over it. Let's see. Parents will have to, yes, parents will have to download the extension as well. Though, if your school has Chromebooks that are attached to your domain, you are able to push the extension out onto those student devices. Otherwise, parents will have to download the extension themselves. All right. I think I got to everyone. Actually, and I see what Jacqueline Rose said, you should not project the book for compliance issues. You can record or create a picture and go. Probably a better idea to do. I know that we were doing, what was it? We were doing flip grids with read alouds, but it's in a closed private area. So it's not sort of public. So in terms of copyright issues, definitely take a look into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out. I'm going to close out the recording for right now. If there's no other questions, it was a pleasure